Hey and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a full-on kitchen declutter, and so I thought I would take you along and share my 12-step method for decluttering the kitchen. Now, I always like to start and end with a clean space. It really helps me to get a visual for what I'm wanting whenever I start off with a clear counter space inside of the kitchen, and it also gives me a place to put the belongings when I start removing things, which we will be doing here soon. So right now I'm just clearing off the counter space, making sure that everything is clean and tidied up. Number 2 is to identify the pain point. We don't usually wake up in the morning just feeling like decluttering the kitchen. There's usually a reason that we feel drawn to do so. And for me, it's because I recently got some new pans from Caraway, and I'm finding that I don't like them being stored on the counter as much as I hoped. So number 3 is to empty the first cabinet. And I say the first cabinet as in the first cabinet that relates to your pain point. So for me, this is the cabinet where we store all of our pans and our appliances. And I've decided that I don't actually want to store my new pans in here, but in order to store my pans in the new cabinet where I want to store them, I have to make space for that cabinet, which is going to be moving stuff into here. And it also means getting rid of some of the other pans that I'm not going to need anymore that are already being stored in this cabinet. So I've got everything removed and placed on the counter. And number 4 is to clean the cabinet. I think that it's a great opportunity to be able to clean the structure of a space once things are removed, and so I always like to use that. And so number 5, I just repeat with other related cabinets. I follow the trail. So this is the actual cabinet where I'm hoping to store my Caraway pans. I'm hoping that they fit. I'm hoping that I'm able to get the lids off of the refrigerator and put them on the door here. And this seems to be the only door where it looks like they might fit, but that means that I have to find another spot for this Instant Pot. So following the same process, I've got everything removed, and then I go through and I clean the structure. And now I'm going to try putting the Instant Pot on the top shelf instead of the bottom shelf, which brings us to step 6, which is to put the important items back first. So for me, the whole purpose of this was to find a space for my Caraway pans. These little magnetic storage holders were probably one of the most exciting parts of me getting Caraway pans. I love their storage systems. To find a new space for my Instant Pot, and then to figure out which pans I want to declutter in the process. I'm really happy that the Instant Pot was able to fit on the shelf. I was a little unsure if that was going to work, but it did. And now I'm just making sure that the Caraway pans fit in this section here, and it looks like they do, which is awesome. And then I'm going to try the lids on the door to make sure it's able to close and to fit appropriately. And the doors are able to close, so I'm really excited that space is set. But now number 7 is to follow the path of related items. Now in my case, I do still have some other dishware that I'm wanting to move around to the cabinets that I've already emptied. And so that's what I'm pulling out of the glass cabinet up here. I just want to pull out any of the storage containers or bowls or things that I want to relocate now that I have this extra space. And then now I'm going to start pulling down the appliances and the things that I have set out on the counter back into this space. And again, we're going by selecting. So the most important things first to make sure that I have the space that I need down here, and then we'll see what's left. Now, in the spirit of that, number 8 is to complete those areas. And so in my case, I did have some clean dishes in the dishwasher, and I want to empty these and make sure that even with all of the dishes inside of these spaces, that there's still enough room for everything and that there's nothing else that I need to be letting go of or moving around. So here's my old pan storage area. Now it's repurposed. I'm able to store my Instant Pot lids in there, which is really helpful since I'm not going to have the space in the area where I used to store the Instant Pot. And then I'm just shuffling around some of the longer and thinner pans into my pan cabinet here and using it for its purpose. Number 9 is to create a discard pile. So I've already removed everything. I've already selected the things that I want to keep. And now I'm just bringing in everything that's left and the things that I'm likely going to want to discard. Now, I did decide to hold on to this wok style pan because it's a unique shape, but all of these other things I'm setting out. And then I'm just going to move on to my last little bit of pan storage area, which is underneath the oven. Now, I know that this is not a pan storage space. It's a space to put your food to keep it warm, but I do use it for my cast iron skillet, and now I'm going to use it for my wok as well. So number 10 is to move on to the next section and repeat. For me, the next section is going to be the glasses. It's the last dishware area that I actually need to declutter. The plates and the bowls are already kind of good to go. And so I'm just doing the same process over here, removing things. And honestly, I have few enough dishes up here right now that I'm able to just kind of slide them side to side to do the cleaning part. So I took a little bit of a shortcut there, and just making sure that things are arranged, that things have their lids on them, and that they're placed in more of a functional fashion, at least for my family. And then I'm going to repeat the same process over in the drawers. Now this is where we keep a lot of our small appliances and cooking utensils, the ones that aren't out on the counter. And so I'm just going to remove everything and clear the structures, the same process. And then I'm going to put everything back in a way that fits well and that feels functional. And Charlie decided to pop in and see what's going on. I always love the extra help. I found 2 potato mashers, so that's going to be an easy declutter. I think that this is from Matt's college supplies that he brought home from his parents' house over the past year. In our bottom drawer here, we just keep our oven mitts and our unpaper towels and our dishcloths, washcloths, all that stuff. So all of our linens for the kitchen essentially are down in the bottom, and then we've got all of the knives up here in the top drawer, just giving it a quick wipe down. And then moving over to our seasonings and spice area. This is a little bit more cluttered than I like for it to be, but it's really the only area where we keep anything like this, and so it doesn't have a whole lot of space here. But we've got the refills for our salt and pepper shaker and all the different types of sugar that you might need to cook with or bake with, and the flours and oils and all that good stuff. It's really all in this one spot here. And then down at the bottom, I have all of my seasonings and spices, and I took this opportunity to see the things that maybe could be consolidated or the things that were expired. And I was shocked to find that some of our brown gravy mix had expired. So figured we haven't used them that much up to this point. It's time to let those things go. Number 11 is doing the final wipe down. I told you I kind of like to start off and end with a wipe down. And then number 12 is just to place things back where I want them. So counter placements. We have been used to having our Echo Dot over on this side of the counter. And then when we got the caraway pans, we moved it to the other side so we could have a spot for them. And everybody finds that they're facing the wrong direction when they try to say something to Alexa. So it's been kind of annoying having it on the other side. I'm glad to have it back over here. I love having some of the space back and just getting rid of some of the things that we're not going to be needing. And I'm really excited to have a dedicated spot for all of my new caraway pots and pans. By the way, I do have a discount code for you if you are in the market for some new pots or pans yourself. Link down in the description and you'll be able to get a 10% discount store-wide. That's going to be from March 22nd to April 4th. So here's all of the things that I am decluttering. I've got some of my older pots and pans and of course the potato masher. I've got all of the expired gravies. We had some cutting sheets that we've been using for years now, but we just got a better solution for that. And then all of these seasonings that have expired that I'm finally letting go of. And then just a couple of ins and outs, mugs and water bottles and things that we're not really using. Hopefully these 12 steps were helpful to you. And if you did enjoy this, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll catch you next week.